Published 0740 Est, the 11th of November 2017, updated 1453 Est, the 11th of November 2017. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton has criticized the sport's organizers in Brazil after members of his Mercedes team were held up at gunpoint in São Paulo last night. Shots were fired and one victim had a gun held to his head in the terrifying incident, according to the driver, who was not on the bus at the time. Armed men surrounded vehicles belonging to Formula One teams, as well as a car from the FIA motorsports governing body, as they left São Paulo's Interlagos circuit at around 8 p.m. It is not known what was stolen, but according to Mercedes, the criminals made off with belongings that were very valuable to the team. No one was hurt in the holdup. On the Interlagos circuit this afternoon, Hamilton crashed out of the qualifying race after just 2 minutes when he lost control of his car at 160 miles per hour and thudded into the tire barrier. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton has revealed that members of the Mercedes team were held up at gunpoint as they left the Interlagos circuit on Friday night. Hamilton skids off the Interlagos circuit this afternoon after losing control at 160 miles per hour. The Mercedes driver thudded into the tire barrier before informing his team that he was not hurt. Armed robbers reportedly surrounded vehicles leaving the Interlagos circuit in São Paulo, where qualifying will take place later today. The 32-year-old remained in his cockpit for some moments before informing his team that he was not injured in the high-speed smash, though his car had sustained significant damage. Talking of last night's hold-up in a post on Twitter, the champion claimed similar criminal incidents happened in the sport every year and called on F1 to do more about it. He wrote, "Some of my team were held up at gunpoint last night leaving the circuit here in Brazil. Gunshots fired, gun held at one's head. This is so upsetting to hear. Please say a prayer for my guys who are here as professionals today, even if shaken. This happens every single year here. F1 and the teams need to do more. There is no excuse." Matteo Bonciani, the FIA's communications director, was in the governing body's car at the time of the attack. He told Brazil's Folha de São Paulo newspaper 3 men hit the car windows with their weapons. But the driver was spectacular and reacted with professionalism and cold blood. Luckily nothing happened to us. I've been coming here since 2002 with Ferrari and I always knew about these things. But it's the first time it has happened to me. São Paulo's military police said today that they had so far not received any report of the incident. Lewis Hamilton revealed news of the incident on his Twitter account on Saturday. In a further tweet a minute later, Hamilton called for increased security measures. Hamilton drives his Mercedes car around the Interlagos circuit during practice on Friday. Hamilton celebrates his victory in the Brazilian Grand Prix last year. Hamilton speaks to the media ahead of the Brazilian Grand Prix this weekend. According to Mercedes director of communication, the ambush happened at when a vehicle forced its van to stop as it left the Interlagos circuit. Most of the staff in the van, who were then held up by the gang, were mechanics, he said. He said a vehicle managed to make a stop. Some men accosted them and stole their belongings. I can only say that they were items which were very valuable for the team. The important thing is that nothing worse happened and everyone is well." He added that the team preferred not to make a formal report of the incident to police. BBC F1 journalist Andrew Benson also tweeted some Mercedes personnel were robbed at gunpoint leaving the track last night. No one harmed. Close escapes for FIA and Williams people, too. Hold-ups are a known risk for teams in São Paulo and around the Interlagos circuit, with drivers traveling to and from their hotels with police escorts and in cars with bulletproof protection. Hamilton celebrates after winning the Drivers' Championship at the Mexico Grand Prix. Britain's Jenson Button was the victim of an attempted robbery in 2010, the year after he won the title with Brawn GP, but the police driver smashed his way through traffic to escape when the gunmen were seen approaching. Mechanics and other staff travel to and from the track by minibus and are advised against wearing branded team clothing away from the circuit. There was a similar incident involving Mercedes personnel last year when a member of the team was robbed at gunpoint by 2 men ahead of the Mexican Grand Prix. The incident took place as they were traveling in a chauffeur-driven car from Mexico City Airport to the team hotel in the city. Watches and wallets were taken after the gunman targeted the car while stationary in traffic. The mother-in-law of former F1 Suprema Bernie Ecclestone was kidnapped in Brazil last year. Aparecida Schunk, then 67, the mother of Mr. Ecclestone's wife Fabiana Flo C., was abducted from her São Paulo home on July the 22nd. A ransom of £28 million was demanded, but none was paid and she was later released unharmed.